Bliss OS is a free and open source operating system based on Android, designed to run on computers, not just mobile devices. This means you can install and use your favorite Android applications on desktop devices just as you would on a tablet or smartphone. The hardware requirements for this operating system are very low, so it can be installed even on old computers. If you want to install and use Android applications on your computer or play Android games on larger screens, in this video we will show you how to do it. To install Bliss OS, you will first need to create a bootable USB drive. When you visit the official website and locate the section labeled Bliss OS, you will see two options for downloading the ISO file, the official source and the Git source. We will begin by downloading the ISO file from the official source, and later we will also show the unofficial version. In the stable sources section, you will find both stable and beta versions. Click on the stable option and you will be redirected to the SourceForge website, where the ISO image for this operating system is hosted. Click the download button. After the file has finished downloading, we will create bootable USB drive using Rufus. If you are using Linux or Mac OS, you can create the bootable USB drive using Ventoy, Belina Etcher, or any other program designed for this purpose. Once the process is successfully completed, restart your computer. When the bootable USB drive loads, as you can see, you will be presented with several options. If you wish to test this operating system, you can do so by selecting one of the live options. Since we want to install this operating system, I will select the installation option. Use the arrow keys to select the option you want and press enter. After loading, a new dialog will open, where you must choose what you want to do. Create or modify partitions on the hard disk, restart the installation process, open a command line, or skip this step. We will select the first option, Create Modify Partitions, because we want to configure the hard disk, that is, create partitions for installing Bliss OS. When we select this option and press enter, we will be prompted to choose the disk we want to customize. In my case, as you can see, I have two options, the hard disk and the USB drive. In your case, you may see a longer list if you already have existing partitions. In any case, select the hard disk or partition you wish to use for installation. You will then be given the option to choose the tool you want to use for creating the partitions. I will select the option already marked by default, No Continue to CFDisk. Then you will be prompted to choose the partition type. In this section, we will select the second option, DOS. After that, you will see a table listing all detected hard disks and partitions. In my case, I have only one unformatted hard disk, which is why we see the label Free Space. If you have multiple hard disks or partitions in this section, select the desired disk, then in the bottom menu, choose the new option. You will then be prompted to enter the size of the partition you want to create. The size will automatically be set to the maximum. In my case, it is 100 GB, since that is the size of the hard disk. Since it is first necessary to create an FE disk, we will reduce this size to 1 GB. After pressing enter, we will be asked whether we want this partition to be primary or extended. We will select the first option, that is, make it primary, and press enter. Now, in the bottom menu, using the arrow keys, select the type option, then in the list of options, find the FE option. By selecting this option and pressing enter, we have completed the process of creating the FE partition. Now we will simply format the remaining portion of the disk, which we will use for installing Bliss OS. In the table, select the portion that is still unformatted, labeled Free Space. In the bottom menu, the new option should automatically be selected. Press Enter. Again, you will be prompted to specify the size. As you can see, I now have 99 GB since we used 1 GB for the FE partition. I want to use the entire remaining space on the disk for Bliss OS, so I will simply press Enter. If you do not want to do this, enter the size you wish the disk to have. Again, we will select that this partition should be primary. Then, in the bottom menu, select the Write option and press Enter. You will then receive the message, "Are you sure you want to write the partition table to disk?" Type yes and press Enter again. Then select Quit. You will then receive a new dialog where you must select the FE partition we created at the beginning, the one we assigned the size of 1 GB. Click OK. Then format the partition by selecting FAT32 and clicking OK button. You will then be given the option to name this partition if you wish. After pressing Enter, you will be prompted to confirm that you want to format the partition. Select Yes and press Enter. Then, in the menu displaying the list of partitions, select the partition on which Bliss OS will be installed. In my case, this is the partition with a size of 99 GB. After selecting this partition and pressing Enter, you will be prompted to choose the partition format. We will select ext4, which is the Linux format. Then you will be given the option to name the partition. Since the default name is already set to Bliss OS, we will not change anything, just press Enter. You will again receive a warning that the partition will be formatted and all data will be erased in this process. Select Yes to confirm your choice. After the formatting process is successfully completed, you will be prompted to decide whether to enable over-the-air updates. Enabling this option is not mandatory. In essence, over-the-air makes it easier to upgrade to a new Bliss OS version without needing to reinstall the system when a new version is released. If you want to have this option, select Yes and press Enter. After that, you will be prompted to choose the bootloader you want. I will select the first option, Group 2. After clicking OK button, the installation process will begin. When the installation of Bliss OS is successfully completed, you will be given option to either launch Bliss OS or restart the computer. I will select the first option. When Bliss OS boots for the first time, you will be given the option to choose how you want it to look, that is, which style you want for the start menu. If you select the first option, Bliss Launcher, you will get an appearance that resembles Android. If you click on second option, Taskbar for Bliss OS, you will get an appearance that resembles a desktop. When you click on the Start menu icon, that is, the Bliss OS logo, as is the case with Windows or Linux, you will see all the applications that are installed. In other words, those that come pre-installed with the operating system. Since this is an operating system based on Android, if you want to prevent screen rotation when launching applications, it is recommended that you first click the Set Orientation icon. When the application starts, click the drop-down menu and select the Landscape option. After this, click the left mouse button at the top of the screen and drag downward to display the status bar, and there disable the automatic rotation option. You can install new applications using Aurora Store, which is an unofficial client application for Google Play, allowing you to install applications directly from Google Play anonymously or by logging into your Google account. We have already covered the Aurora Store application. If you wish to view that video, you can find the link in the description of this video. We will select Anonymous option, that is Anonymous User, And when the application starts, for example, we will install Telegram. Installing other applications is done in the same way, that is, the same way you would install them on an Android phone. Since I assume that majority of users who decide to install Bliss OS will do so with the goal of playing Android games on their computer, that is, on a larger screen, we can install and launch a game just to show how it works. The version of Bliss OS we are currently using, that is, the official stable version, is based on Android 11. If you need a newer version of Android for a specific application or game you plan to use, you can download and install the unofficial version of Bliss OS, which is based on Android 13. Links for both versions, as well as links for the old and new official website, which at the time of recording this video is under development, can be found in the video description, so choose the option that best suits your needs. Since there are certain differences between these two versions, we will now also show what the Bliss OS based on Android 13 looks like. The installation process is the same for both versions. After installation, when Bliss OS boots, you will receive a dialog that is probably familiar to all Android phone users. That is, the dialog you receive when you first turn on a phone or perform a factory reset. In this section, you can select the language. I will keep English. When we click Start, you will be given the option to restore your data and installed applications if you have created a backup on a previous device by logging into your Google account. If you have not created a backup or don't want to use your Google account, click the Don't Copy option, which I will do in this case. Then you will again be given the option to log in or create a new Google account. I will click the Skip option because I don't want to log in. Then I receive a warning that if I continue using the device without a Google account, data such as contacts, applications, and similar will not be saved. Then we get options related to Google services, that is, backup of photos, videos, location detection, and similar. If you logged into your Google account in the previous step but don't want automatic backup, location detection, sending usage data for applications, and similar, disable all options in this section. Then click Accept button. Then we get options for unlocking the device, that is, setting a pattern, PIN, or password. Since I am doing this for demonstration purposes, I will select the Not Now option, that is, skip this step. And now, after all these settings, we are again prompted to choose how the Start, that is, task menu will look. First, we will select Launcher 3, and later we will show what the desktop version looks like. As you can see at the first glance, this version is quite similar to the interface you can see on an Android phone. Also, in this version, Google Play comes pre-installed. You can view other applications that come with the operating system by dragging your mouse from the bottom to the top of the screen, as you would scroll on a phone. First, we will go to Settings to view information about the operating system itself. As you can see here, this version, as we mentioned, is based on Android 13. Although this version comes with the Google Play option, if you want to download and install applications without logging into your Google account, you can install the Aurora Store application using F-Droid. Icons, that is, shortcuts on the screen, are created by simply dragging them to the desired location. Also, Bliss OS comes with a pre-installed terminal, Termux, which you can use to install various packages and execute commands. This option is intended for advanced users, but it is nice to have as a possibility if you ever need it. You can obtain the desktop appearance by selecting the desktop mode option. The advantage of this appearance is that you will get a segment containing a navigation bar. Through it, you can easily go back a step, select the home screen, and view applications you have used that are still running in the background. You can uninstall all applications you installed by clicking the left mouse button on the applications icon and holding it for a few seconds. After that, a dialog menu will appear with several options related to the application. And among other things, at the bottom of the list you will see the uninstall option. Feel free to leave any suggestions, questions, or ideas for future video content in the comments. Thanks to everyone who took the time to watch this video. I hope you find it useful or at least informative.